Monday night, we always talk about business at this time of the night, and we got Jack Stopforth here from Liverpool Chamber of Commerce. Evening, Jack. Again.
Evening, Simon.
And also tonight, we're going to talk about the Innovation Awards. We'll come to those in just a few moments because this is an annual event, isn't it? Which we always look at. We got Sean McGuire from the company Ambitious Minds, who was a finalist last year. We'll chat to Sean in just a sec. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Jack, first of all, let's just touch on the Stephen Hester issue because we just discussed that a few moments ago. Do you think, as Mike was saying, our nurse there, that there is still a feeling that since 2008, not much has changed really? There may be a few tighter regulations here and there, but the bankers are still cocking a snook at the rest of us, really.
How can you feel anything else when you look at the size of some of these city bonuses? There's no way it can be justified, candidly. I'm sitting here running a Chamber of Commerce, which is all about promoting and justifying business, if you like, and I'm not even going to attempt it.
But he's turned the bank around, and he's been paid less than he could elsewhere.
He has, and the fact is, if he had a contract which gave him certain rewards, then the contract, like as in any walk of life, ought to be honoured. So I've got a degree of sympathy with Hester. He actually came up to Liverpool about 6 or 8 months ago, and he did a breakfast meeting for Chamber members, and I have to say, very, very committed. He's had a lousy weekend though, because he's a Man United fan as well.
Oh, is he? He won't be happy. Yeah. Imagine though. Imagine handing back £1 million. Can you just imagine what that must feel like for a minute? Yeah, doesn't matter how rich you are.
No, £1 million in shares, which and we all know which way they've been going for RBS of late. So I've got a degree of sympathy with him. If he had a contract, it should have been respected and honoured. But in the present climate, to expect people to walk away in a publicly owned company with
they do pay a hell of a lot of tax though, Jack, don't they? As our man pointed out,
absolutely, and there is nothing wrong if salary and rewards are linked to success. But sadly, for reasons which in many respects are beyond his control, it hasn't been a success. What he's done, he's done a really very good job at minimising some of the downside. The bank is nothing like as indebted as it was. It's much stronger than it was. He deserves to be rewarded and acknowledged for that. But nevertheless, its share price has gone down, and the shareholders, i.e. you and I and everybody else listening out there, have got a right to say, I'm sorry, we don't believe you've earned that.
Do you think shareholders should be on the remuneration boards?
Absolutely.
Because at the moment they're not, are they?
They don't have to be. An awful lot of good companies following best practice from elsewhere in the world actually do that as a matter of course.
A worker. Worker, someone from the shop floor on the boards.
It doesn't have to be as radical as that sounds. And so long as people understand the world of business, understand that very often senior executives are a part of an international marketplace and you have to pay the going rate. As long as people understand the realities of business, then I've every belief in having representation on the boards and on remuneration committees.
Okay, let's get into the Innovation Awards then.
Okay.
That time of year again. Just remind us, just tell us a bit of background. What are the awards about?
These have been run by a great colleague of mine, a fellow director of the Chamber, Brian McCann, from Vanguard Corporate Finance. Although he's recently changed his own company, actually joined forces with Mitchell Charlesworth recently. Right. And they're about recognising and rewarding innovation in business. And innovation doesn't have to be a great new discovery in biomedicine or a great new discovery in high technology electronics. It might just be about running your bakery better. It might just be about running your auto parts company more efficiently and more effectively. It's bringing fresh thinking and innovative approaches, not just to existing, not just to new markets and new products, but existing markets and existing products.
Let's bring in Sean, because Sean was a finalist last year. Do you know what, Sean? I was disappointed that you didn't win in the end.
I was disappointed as me. We did win the popular vote.
Well, I thought it was a great idea. Just remind us, you invented a board game, didn't you, that taught, and how prescient is this, school children about money?
Yeah.
Because that's not taught on the curriculum at the moment. Finance is not taught on the curriculum, is it?
No. So this Keep the Cash is designed to equip young adults with the skills and understanding that we would all, I think, here agree that they need to build what we all want them to build, which are sustainable, independent adult lives. Without that, we won't have a happy community, and we certainly won't, to pick up on Jack's points about RBS, ever find a way of funding our future prosperity if we have a shrinking tax base of unemployed people who can't get jobs.
Absolutely. And what did entering the Innovation Awards do for you?
We really enjoyed it, actually. It was Brian McCann, who Jack mentioned too, was extremely helpful and welcoming for us in the process. It was an opportunity to showcase Keep the Cash in front of a very interesting audience, do a live presentation.
It's a great name for a TV show, that. Has no one approached you?
Yeah, well,
Chris
I'm
Tarrant
waiting if Hollywood's there. Yeah. Well, we've got plans on that basis, but it was a real challenge to us to express this in a way that, in the best sense, a disinterested professional audience would listen to and understand. And it meant that we got the chance to work with some other businesses in the city. So we worked a bit with Paver Smith on it, who were very helpful with us, and it allowed us to.
Is your game out there on the shelves? Can I buy it in Toys R Us?
No, it's delivered. It's got to be facilitated live in schools.
Okay.
So we did it last week at Westminster City School in London, for example. The week before at Belrive in Sefton Park. So it's a facilitated learning methodology based on experiential learning and our experience of working in places like Kaplan and FT.
Right.
In other words, the process of educating a young adult about what being financially literate means is a very rigorous one if it's going to be done properly, if it's going to have any meaning. And it's got to be holistic, and by that I mean it has to get them to think about how they're going to fund their personal futures. They've all got a very clear vision of the kind of lives they want to lead. And advertising and a lot of other things stimulate an interest in really quite aspirational life expectancies.
So many things in finance you don't actually know anything about until you come to do it. Buying a house, for example.
Absolutely.
You don't learn about mortgages until you actually come to do one, and then it's too late.
If I can relate this back to the discussion about Hester and about the way business is viewed, I think what Sean and his group are doing are fantastic, because we at the moment business is very unfashionable. You know, we've got the Occupy movement in St Paul's and here in Liverpool. You've obviously got the reaction against so-called greedy bankers. You've had dreadful corporate scandals in places like Enron and Lehman's and old Bernie Rubble, or whatever he was called, and Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, he certainly did.
And he did make off. So, but you know, underneath all of that, business is fundamentally crucial to our society, and people need to understand the basics, and that's what Sean's company does.
Okay, Sean. Well, it's a good title, not for Stephen Hester, who of course didn't get to keep the cash, but
well, I think he got, what was his basic salary?
Just under $1 million.
He kept enough, didn't he? Okay, we'll leave it there, guys. We're out of time. Thanks for coming in. We'll keep tabs on the Innovation Awards all through the next coming weeks.
Your station, your voice.
BBC Radio Merseyside.